Get comfy, find your spot, your space. I'm actually gonna even take my shoes off. Welcome everybody. Yoga Express, again on location. So we're gonna take a couple minutes to breathe and to be and just take ourselves away from what we're currently doing. Let's take 4 more breaths. In and out. In and out. In and out. And in and out. All right, so I'm a little chilly, so we're gonna do get some movement going. We'll see how much my head is cut off when I stand up. So what we're gonna do is we're going to make our way to the back end of our mat. And we're just gonna come into our table. And we're just gonna move forward and back, all the way forward, all the way back. I did a practice last night where you had your feet out, your knees in, and you went all the way forward into this, I believe it was called swan, but I could be wrong. So if that is something that is comfortable for you, that's fine. I found that after a while it really irritated my knees, so maybe just going just straight forward and straight back might be a little bit easier or more comfortable for you, but if you'd like to play, by all means. All right, we're gonna do 2 more and then we're gonna stop in that forward position, whatever that forward position is for you. So for me, it's here, and I'm just gonna lay those knees down, pull those shoulders back and down, puff that chest forward, and hold here for a couple breaths. Back to tabletop. Let's bring one arm up, loop it through, and we're just gonna add that, keep moving. We're not gonna, if you would like to drop down and hold for a stretch, by all means, please do. I'm just gonna go back and forth, and I can go a little bit farther down, or stay up nice and high, my choice. 2 more on this side. Release into the other side. So the first couple I stayed up pretty high, so I'm going to do that, and then I went a little farther down. And the same thing, if you held on the other side, please hold on the side. I'm going to go a little farther down this time. 2 more. 1 more. And release. Come back to your table. Let's bring one foot back and really stretch out that foot. I'm going to just kind of go a little side to side. That feels good on my foot and calf. Out to the other leg. Back to a leg one, and I'm just going to reach back and hold onto that foot, myself a little quad stretch. So I kind of pick and choose the speed of the class and the intensity of the class, never going above beginner intermediate level. But if you're looking for something faster, for something slower, I'm just kind of going off the feedback that I get. So you are more than welcome to share that feedback with me. If you're looking for something a little bit more sweaty, a little bit less sweaty, let me know. All right, release, and let's go to the other side. Shoot back to side A, let's just kick straight up to the ceiling. 10 of these. We've done 10, I'm gonna kick up, out, straighten, and back in. Kick up, out, straighten, and back in. Like this. For some reason it's messing with my brain. All right, let's just kind of lean those hips a little side to side. If you have something to relieve those wrists with, highly recommend. All right, now let's go to the other side, kicking straight up and eight, 9, 10. All right, let's see if I can do this now. We're gonna go up, down, out, in. Up, down, out, in. All right, and release. Sit it on back. Pull those shoulders back, bring those arms back. Turn and face one way. And the other way. Those arms, just let them kind of go where they feel like it. And then we're gonna bring those feet in front of us. Now, if you have flexibility, awesome, good for you. Very much approve. But as you know, I don't. So I'm gonna have my knees bent very generously here. If you have the ability to straighten your leg and keep them straight, even if that means putting a block beyond your feet to extend that reach, do so. But I want you to grab your feet, whether it's your toes, your arches, wherever it happens to be. And I want you to bring that forehead to wherever it goes. So my knees are super high and bent, so that's gonna just fit in there really nice and easy. If you can straighten your legs and get down there, forward fold, but making sure that we are grabbing those feet regardless of our flexibility or not. So here, we're gonna take 5 breaths here, okay? Let's straighten those legs if they're not already. Bring those arms out to the side. We're just gonna rotate, lean forward, lean back, center. Rotate, forward, back. 3 more each side. Toes up. 1 more each side. Bring those hands to the ground. Let's bring those feet to the ground. And let's push our hips up and back in and just do little tiny Tiny movements here. 4, 5, 4. I'm going on that full foot. 3, 2. Last one. Push yourself up. And stand on up. Now I'm pretty sure I'm going to be out of frame, and I am. I'm only going to be here for a minute. All right, we're going to bring our hands to prayer, and we're going to come down into a chair pose. So we're going to sit back and then down, and then look, I'm actually in frame again. All right, I have a straight back. I'm not hunched in any way, shape, or form. I'm here. If you'd rather have your arms out here, that's totally fine. We're holding. 2, and drop the hands. Again, shake a little side to side if you'd like. We're going to go back up and roll it up nice and slow. Heads out of frame again. We're going to come back to our chair, but we're going to twist into our chair. So I'm just going to face forward. You can still stay where you are, but we're going to have our hands in prayer. We're going to sit down and we're going to twist. And we're going to hold. If you'd rather grab that fist, that's totally fine too. Let those arms drop and roll up nice and slow. I find the seated ones are easier for me because I have that extra point of contact. Hands to heart center and squat and rotate other side. Hands down and roll it on up. Come to the back of your mat. Bring arms up and swan dive down and walk yourself out to plank. And then drop those feet so we're back here into the top. All right, so we're gonna go for a one-legged king pigeon here. So depending on your situation with your floor, I would strongly suggest you folding the mat over on itself. So I'm gonna fold my mat over. I'm gonna have my left knee on the ground and on that double fold of the mat. All right, I'm gonna bring my right leg back. I'm gonna do some ankle circles. One way, and then the other way. I'm really gonna stretch that foot back. I'm gonna lean my chest down towards the mat. And I'm gonna bend that knee and I'm gonna bring it on in and lift my chest up, make a big ball. I can put that foot on the ground if I'd like. Bring that foot in front between the two hands. So I'm here, and if I need to scooch this back knee back a little bit or scooch the front foot forward a bit, I can. And I'm gonna lean forward a bit. I'm going to reach towards that left foot. And then I'm gonna come up. Now I can either have the other arm on my leg if I'd like, on my thigh. I can have it somewhere else for support. Whatever feels good to me, and I can keep that balance. I'm just finding a spot on the floor. I'm gonna hold this for a few more breaths here. Forward, I'm gonna put my hands on the ground and I'm gonna release that knee nice and slowly. I'm going to lean back so I can stretch out the back of that front leg, the hamstring. Lean forward and stretch out that hip flexor. So my hands can either be down here on the ground for support. They can be up here on my thigh for support. Bring those hands to the small of my back or arms up. Totally your decision. Bring those hands down. And I'm going to come back to tabletop and switch my mat for the other side. Or you can just turn around. Whatever works best for you and your space. All right, so we're back here in table. Just kind of switch around a little bit. Let's bring that left foot back and lift it on up. Move around that ankle for a bit. Really lift it up high, drop those elbows. And then bend that knee in. You can drop that foot to the mat. Really stretch yourself into a ball, or I guess curl yourself into a ball. That foot in front. Stabilize yourself. Figure out how far left to right you need that foot to be. And then I'm going to come on up. Lean forward if I need to. Figure out what's best for my body. And then bring that other foot back. Knowing that each side is different and each day is different. Really spreading that weight amongst the whole foot and all the toes. Lean forward. I'm going to release that foot nice and slow. And I'm going to lean forward. Turn up the hamstring. All right, and then I'm going to release. I'm going to lean forward. Do a nice hip flexor stretch to side. Hands on the ground. Hands on the thigh. Hands on the low back. Hands in the air. So hands down to wherever they were and come back to tabletop and release your mat. And we're going to turn side. Okay, so I would like one foot out and we're just going to rock back and forth, rotate a little bit if that feels good. I think that bringing one shoulder in and back is what works for me and what works for you. Same thing, do the other side. Do here is I'm going to leave this one leg nice and long, but I'm going to come up a little bit. So I'm going to be here and here, so however you get there is totally fine. So what I'm gonna do is actually bring this leg straight back. So I'm gonna scooch over a little bit. So now I am here. So we're going to do a little bit of a side angle, nice and low, and then we'll do it a little bit higher up where my head's gonna be a little chopped off. But we'll do the motions down here, so we're good to go when I go up top. And if you don't wanna go up top, you stay down here the whole time, totally cool. All right, so we're gonna bring, so this is my right leg, right arm, and then left's over here on this side. So I'm gonna take my left arm and bring it down. Bring it down to the ground, and I'm right underneath my shoulder. So I'm not out here, right underneath. and then bring the other arm up or up and back. So I'm just gonna bring it up and back so I'm in frame the whole time. And if you want to look up towards the ceiling, great. If not, you can look somewhere else. Undo the bind if I have it, and then come down. And I'm just gonna shimmy myself over to the other side and do the same thing. So I'm gonna bring myself up and bring that hand down on a fist, my little tenths of fingers, a block, and then decide where I want that arm to be and where I want to look. And I'm going to come on down. So if you want to stay nice and low for group number 2, please do so. If not, we're going to come on up. We're going to have a nice wide stance, and of course, my head's out of frame, so I'm going to lean forward a little bit. All right, I'm going to point this leg, those toes there, and I'm going to leave this other leg, my toes forward. So here and here is what my toes look like. So I'm going to lean on in. And do I decide, let's all start with the arm on the thigh, and then arm up or bent back behind. So we're here, and we're gonna stay here for a couple breaths, and then we're gonna straighten that arm. Right arm, let's see if we can go down a little bit lower and decide where you wanna end up looking, over your shoulder, straight ahead, up the distance, wherever works. Up by my core, and I'm going to switch my feet, release that arm, and let's come on to the other side. So I'm going to pull that shoulder back, and the good thing about pulling the shoulder back is that really forces me to open up that chest. It's a good reminder to me. All right, I'm going to straighten that arm now. So I can go down a little bit lower, and where I'm going to end up looking. Use that core, pull yourself up. And I'm gonna have both sets of toes facing out. I'm gonna bring both arms onto that thigh on each side. And I'm just going to lean the shoulder in, just like I did on the ground. One side and hold. I'm really pushing that thigh back as well a little bit. So I'm feeling a stretch in the inner thigh, I'm feeling a stretch in the shoulder, in the side body, a lot of places. Release. I'm gonna lift myself up a little bit. I'm gonna heel toe those feet in, and then I'm gonna sit down on the ground. All right, so let's finish up with a little ab session. I have my socks, so I'm just gonna put on in a couple minutes. All right, so we have a couple minutes of abs, and then we'll go into our Shavasana. All right, so let's just start out with a nice, easy bicycle. So I'm gonna bring those hands behind my head, and I'm just going to do the legs right now. All right, so bring those feet up to tabletop, really tuck that torso and hips underneath so you have a nice flat back. If you're ever doing abs on the ground and you have your shirt's kind of ridden up a little bit and you kind of make that farting noise with your back in the mat, that means that you have air back there that you are not getting a nice solid connection point. Obviously some abs are gonna be lifting up and that's fine, it happens. But if you're nice and tucked in, you should not be getting any sort of air bubble whatsoever. All right, so we're gonna start with just the right leg. We're just gonna cycle that leg and then cycle the other side. So we're coming back to that table each time. Reverse it, reverse, and reverse. Oh, one more time, nice and slow. Reverse, and reverse. All right, ready to go faster? We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4 forward, and 1, 2, 3, 4 back. All right, so we're gonna go. Ready? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, keep those legs up nice and high. Hold here for a second. So if you want to add in the upper body here, you can, reaching the opposite elbow towards that knee on the opposite side. You're not going to touch, that's fine, but we're basically bringing that head and neck up off the ground. If you don't want to, that's totally fine, no worries. But if you're going to, this is the time we're going to do it. All right, so let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, no back farts. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. Drop those feet. And then drop those knees. Look to the other side of the room. Leg and tuck it on top. That's by the stretch, feel free. Release, and let's do the same thing on the other side. First. Put that leg on top. Bring those knees to a nice little tent and bring the arms overhead, grabbing the opposite elbow. Trying to push those shoulders down to the mat. And grab one arm a little bit more than the other. If you have room to grab the whole wrist and the full arm, feel free. And then switch to the other side. Release, bring those arms to your side and pick the position that you want to do your Shavasana in today. I think I'm going to do mine seated today. That is totally optional. You can 100% lie down. That's no pressure whatsoever. But I'm going to put my socks on. And I'm going to sit in a position that is comfortable for me. And we're going to be here for 2 minutes. And we're going to end class in our Shavasana today. Okay? So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to utilize my wall that I have here. I'm going to bring those legs out. This is where I'm going to be. class here today. When you are ready, and only when you are ready, you're going to wiggle your fingers and toes and make yourself come back into your space mentally, nice and slow. But I suggest you stay there a minute or two longer if you can. Have a great rest of your day. The next 2 weeks I will be back in my basement again, yay, for ease of setup and breakdown. But then I'll have a couple more weeks back in here again. But for the next 2 weeks, we are back in basement land, and I will see you later.